Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for August 26th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today is Pooya. How you doing, Pooya?
I'm doing well, Taran. I'm still sad about the departure last night of one, not Jasmine, audience, but Joseph. However, I'm excited to talk to you because I don't know. I was very doom and gloom last night, Taran, and I'm no longer feeling that doom and gloom, so we'll see.
We will see indeed. We are here to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 24 live feeds. It was day 51 in the house, and we have a new HOH. We have new plans, and we're going to talk about it all here today on the Big Brother 24 live feed update. And we may even also talk a little bit about what happened this morning. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Really not much that occurred prior to the eviction. Feeds went down pretty early and they stayed down. But we saw on the eviction episode that Jasmine and Joseph left the game. They were really against J names in the house yesterday. And then the feeds came back before the HOH competition took place, which meant that there was a little bit of talk between both sides before they knew which side would be in power. I thought this was a good decision by production. Clearly, they had the HOH competition ready to go. It wasn't like in the backyard. So I imagine it was an intentional decision to let them talk a little bit before having them go ahead and compete so that we could get a sort of neutral ground for them to, tell their stories about what happened on either side and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was very happy to see that the feeds came on within minutes of the episode being over. Typically, we sit there. Sorry, let me speak for me. I sit there like a whole clown, ready with an energy drink. 3 hours in, nothing's back. So to get it back immediately was good, and was nice to kind of start piecing together what everyone's stories are going to be. Ultimately, I think we got some, not a lot, but we'll take some. We always take some.
The chat is like jonesing for the transition music. They're like, they've gone cold turkey. They're like, oh, we need the transition music. Give it to us.
You got any more of that transition music? Yeah, Tara, maybe you just like pepper one in at some point without announcement, so people maybe get a treat. We don't know.
If there's nothing to transition to, you can't transition music. It's just how things go.
I can see a place where you can transition potentially. I can see one, but we'll see. We'll see if you get there.
There's really not a lot that is said ultimately. There certainly was room for there to be like some arguments or fights or stuff like that. But the outsiders came in and played dumb in terms of what actually happened. Their explanation is that, Turner went up on the block initially with Joseph. Then Terrence used the veto on Turner. Kyle went up on the block, and then they voted Joseph out. And, it was a 2-0 vote. And Joseph kind of started to pull a little bit of a pooch there at the end, really started to start talking, saying a lot of things. Wouldn't surprise me if he ended up revealing some sensitive information, but ultimately they had to make the decision to send Joseph out. He was really out there like he was wanting the outsiders to like band together to take shots at the insiders. We're not about that life. So we took him out. We're in here. We're leftover strong. We're ready to go. And everyone's kind of just like, okay.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Yeah, the outsiders, the key information that you might be looking for here is the outsiders did indeed say and confirmed that Terrence put up Joseph and Turner initially, then Kyle went up, and they also know that it was a vote of 2-0. So they have all that key information there. None of that changed at all.
Yes. So that's really all there is there for now. We mentioned this last night, but I think that if the insiders win this HOH, then this will become much more relevant. The questioning, the story, all of that. Was Joseph really screwed over here, or was he really the pooch in the situation? That investigation will take place if one of the insiders win the HOH. So we get to the HOH. and one of the insiders did not win HOH. Turner is the new HOH. Craft King Turner has, in fact, won the tiny veto HOH, which I still think is dumb. The whole funny thing about the tiny veto is that it was a tiny veto, and he didn't even have a tiny key.
Yeah, we can't call it the tiny veto anymore. We need to find a more neutral name because it now has become an HOH comp as well. But nothing comes off the tongue quite as well as tiny veto. So I'm very sad about that fact.
Yeah, it's lame stuff here, production. Come on. So Turner has won, and this is very bad news. This is probably, you would assume, worst case scenario for Michael, because Michael and Brittany maybe had the option of like going to Kyle and really like playing up like, hey, we're with you. We've always been with you. Taylor and Monty, they're together. You can't trust them. Stick with us. Target them, not us. And maybe there was a chance that could work. Probably not. Whereas Turner really has no reason to not target Michael here. And Kyle gets to let Turner do it with his hands not clean, but like not having to do it himself. And things just do not look good for Michael. From my perspective, the second Turner wins, we're looking at an attempt to backdoor Michael. If he doesn't win that veto, he's probably out. The plan was for Taylor and Monty to go on the block and for Michael to be the backdoor. That would give Michael 2 potential outs with the veto. If Brittany were to win, she could not use it. And if Michael were to win, he could not use it. But, they would have to get picked and they would have to win. And so either way, not looking great for Michael is my first thought here.
I mean, it was also my first thought, and it looked like to be Michael's first thought, Taran. When the feeds came back on, Michael's sitting there in this wig they gave them to wear. Him and Terrence were wearing these wigs, and Michael looked nervous from the jump. Like, his body language was not great, and I could tell he was thinking a mile a minute. It really felt like he sensed it as well.
So, Turner is going to do his best Taylor impression here as the HOH and immediately start promising safety to every single person he talks to. Primarily, he's going to go straight to Brittany and say, hey, Brittany, I promise you, you're not going on the block. You're totally safe this week. I'm totally with you. He's going to go to Michael and say, hey, Michael, I would never put you up. Love the leftovers. Love you, Michael. Things are great. Loving everything here. It's all good. Turner, who, came in with a plan, I think is having some trouble. He talked to Monty prior to the HOH, and they were pretending to be leftover strong. And then after the HOH, Monty came up to him in the shower and was like, hey, pound is still good, right? And Turner was like, yeah, of course. And so I think Turner right now is just kind of thinking, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to still target them or no? But we thought they were going to be all against us. So, but what if they're not against us? What if I don't know, maybe I just need to promise everyone safety.
And then I'll just, see what happens. Go with the vibe. Yeah. It's interesting because I do feel like Monty bringing up the pound to Turner kind of plays off that Turner thinks, oh, wow, that must mean that it's still like intact. That despite Joseph leaving, he might consider, wanting to still work with me. That could be good. It's very funny to me because I genuinely thought, Taran, that everything was done. It's outside versus inside, outside win, inside bad, inside win, outside bad. And this was the start of something special simply because why does everyone have safety, Turner? Didn't you not like that, Rain? Look at you giving everyone safety. But yeah, that's how this starts.
Yes. Now, to be clear, Turner has been very much with Kyle and Alyssa and Turner since the outside. That is not changing at this time. He is just promising people safety.
Yes.
He's going to do his HOH room reveal. It's all that's going to happen. He's going to finally start talking game after that. And this is when things start to get more interesting, because he's going to talk to Kyle, and he says, Kyle, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Kyle's like, what do you mean? We know what to do. He says, look, I think we have to stick to the thing. I don't know what to do. And Kyle's like, no. We have to be with the outsiders. That's our thing. That's our new thing. He goes on to explain, and this is the truth. The way the numbers are set up right now, we can't afford to play games. We can't have Alyssa or Terrence on the block, because if we do, then they will have the votes to vote them out. And that's true, right? There's 8 players, 3 people can't vote. There's 5 votes total. Turner can't vote as HOH. If he puts up one of Alyssa or Terrence, that means 2 of their 4 can't vote, and 3 of the other 4 can vote. So it will be a 3-2 vote to vote out Alyssa or Terrence, whoever is up on the block at that time. So Kyle is ready with that argument. We can't put either one of them up, or they will be sent home. Turner's like, man, I wanted to give this HOH to you, Kyle, because Kyle was very close to winning this HOH, but Monty was also kind of close, so I couldn't. And he had to win this one. He says, but look, listen, tell me if I'm totally out of my mind, but Monty came up to me and asked if the pound was still a thing. And I don't know, like, I was totally with everyone outside, totally 100%. But then we walked back in here and we got back in with these people. They've kept us safe for so long. And just tell me if this is wild, because it could be 4-4 now, or it could be 3-3 once we get to 6 if we have Monty. Me, you, Monty versus Michael, Brittany, Taylor. Like, the thing is, bro, Alyssa and Terrence, they aren't winning anything for us, bro. They were terrible in this competition. I could nominate them. It wouldn't come back on you at all. It would be all my faults. They wouldn't be mad at you. They'd be mad at me. Kyle is like, am
I stupid?
I'm not going to agree to this. This is a terrible idea.
Yeah. Interesting turn of events here. Again, I feel like now. Very well done, Taran. I feel like Turner winning this competition, right? Because that's the ultimate thing for me, is that if anyone from the outside would have won outside of Turner, his life is fine. He's the one who won. He's the one who has to put people on the block. And I feel like he is starting to feel a little bit, it's going to be a tough one for him to do. Remember, he's the one who said the first person that takes the shot gets taken out of the leftovers. That's what his philosophy was before this split.
Yeah. And also remember, he is the one that very nearly backed out of the Amira plan all the way back when the leftovers started. He didn't want to do the thing that would piss off too much of the house. He is a scared player. He's always been a scared player. He's always been a passive player. He doesn't like making big moves, and he keeps getting into a position where he has to because Kyle keeps pushing him into doing it. And ultimately, Kyle is getting him to do things that are good for his game, but he doesn't want to do them. It's too scary. He's talking about, like, we can be 4-4 now, or we can be 3-3 later. It's like, no, you can be 4-3 now, or you can be 3-3 later against the biggest comp beast in the house. This is a terrible idea for Turner. He should not even be remotely considering this option. I'm not complaining if he does, but it's a really bad idea. And Kyle understands that, and he is going to try and push back here. He goes, look, you need to take a shot at Michael. He is the biggest threat to win this game. Like, we cannot miss this shot at Michael. This is a very bad idea. And Turner's like, yeah, but then we're just going to have to, like, win a bunch of comps after that. And Kyle's like, dude, that's the game. It's like, bro, I don't know. Joseph, Kyle goes, bro, I don't know. Joseph told us they were all working together. Remember the final 3, Michael, Brittany, Taylor, we cannot trust them. And he's like, oh. Kyle's like, I haven't talked game to Monty for weeks, bro. We can't do this. If the other side wins, they are taking a shot at us. Guaranteed. Alyssa and Terrence are no threat to their game at all. Why, if we took out one of them, why would the other side bother taking the other one out and not just take one of us out? This is a very bad idea. And Turner's like, but Alyssa's so bad at comps. How can we put our game in her hands? It's like, yeah, she's bad at comps. That's why you want to be in the end with her and not Michael and Monty. Kyle's like, no, listen, maybe there's a place where we can take a shot at that side and get Monty to come on board with us and co-sign it. Turner's like, okay. Well, that's okay, yeah. Because then we can tell Monty about what Joseph told us about how Michael, Brittany, and Taylor have a final 3. And he's like, yes, exactly. And Kyle just explains more about how we can't let Terrence and Alyssa leave. And Turner's like, oh man, I'm right in the middle right now. I'm right in the middle. I'm not sure what to say. And Kyle's like, I think Joseph was absolutely telling the truth about Michael and Brittany having Taylor. We cannot trust them at all. We need to listen to what Joseph said. And Turner's like, I don't know. I trust Brittany more than you do, Kyle. And Kyle's like, Turner, look, I think we can listen. Let's do this move then. All right. We'll tell Monty about Michael, Brittany, and Taylor having a final 3. We'll try to convince him to get on board, and then we'll take the shot at Michael, and we'll have Monty too. It'll be the best of both worlds. And Turner's like, okay, we'll talk to Monty about it.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? This house essentially gets split into 4v4. While I do agree that it is not a great move for Turner potentially here, it is an even worse move for Kyle. Like, Kyle is legitimately going to have the wind taken out of his sails with this move, which again, I am not mad at. I'm very okay with what's about to happen here if it does go this way. However, I do recognize that he's pushing because it's not going to be good for him. What you said about you want to be at the end with the 2 people that can't win comps, that could work for you. Where Turner's worried, and I think this is where it's coming from, is that he's more concerned with 2 things. A, winning who's going to win these competitions moving forward, because his worry now is if we take the shot and then the other side wins, now I'm on the radar where I wasn't before. The second thing is, I think there's that bit of guilt where I've been playing such a free game, such a worry-free game because of this group. I can't turn my back on this group now. It's very interesting because I think before he had faces to see faces, he was very okay with going through with this plan. Now that he's put faces and emotions in it, he's like, I don't know. I mean, Brittany was there for me night 1, like Brittany was talking to me night 1. And he kept bringing this up last night multiple times. I think the week away and then seeing everyone again has made him appreciate them a little bit more, which again is just fascinating to watch play because we've not really ever seen a situation like this where you essentially haven't seen half the house for a week and now you have to go back and face them.
Honestly, I think my read is more that he just, like, now that he's seeing here are 4 other people, that's scary. Like, if I take this shot, they're gonna come for me. And I'm worried about that. And
you think they're stronger than your 4, which is another thing. Like, you're definitely rating them a lot higher than your own 4's like possibilities of winning.
Exactly. He's concerned that he will take this shot and then the other side will win and retaliate. Now, the thing is, they will retaliate at Kyle first because Kyle is the link between Alyssa. And that's the thing. He wants to take out Alyssa, which is the only thing that makes Kyle more threatening than him on this side. Like, listen, I understand. I'm very happy for Turner to make this mistake, but I very much think it is a massive mistake. And so that's kind of where Turner stands right now. He says he's basically right down the middle. He's going to talk to Monty, throw Michael and Brittany under the bus and see where Monty falls. So he's then going to talk to the rest of the people in the house, mostly just still promising safety to everyone. And not giving anything away about who he's targeting, not indicating to Terrence or Alyssa that they might go up, just saying it's one of them. Talking to Michael and Brittany and telling them, of course you're not going up. He's promising everyone safety. He talks to Brittany, says, there's no way I'm breaking up the leftovers. I feel closest to you in the group. I really appreciate that you're one of the first people to come and talk game with me in this house. Remember all the way back to the beginning of the game when Brittany thought that her, Turner, and Michael could be a thing, and Turner shut them down because he didn't like Brittany very much. He hopes that he says, well, listen, I just hope that I wouldn't be the first person to go once we hit 6. And Brittany says, of course not. Of course not. So you can kind of see that Turner is kind of like looking to, again, take this, seemingly safer path and not take this shot if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, and one thing that does get echoed quite a bit in the latter conversations with the inside leftovers is that he keeps bringing up that he might be burning 2 jury votes here because of how connected they were coming in from the outside. He's going to be burning 2 jury votes. I feel like that both is him just saying that I'm screwing my game. I'm this loyal to this group, but also I think he's trying to bring his threat level down by saying, I don't have jury votes. I'm losing 2 by doing this. So that does come up. Now, again, whether intentionally or not, that's how I read what this is supposed to translate for him.
So Turner's going to talk to Monty. And he says, listen, I'm only running this by you. And Monty says, great, you can trust me. I am all about the pound. And Turner says, okay, perfect. So Joseph told us that Taylor has a final 3 with Michael and Brittany. And Monty is like, I knew it. Let me tell you what happened inside, because those 3 did sit me down in here and they talked about making a final 4 and taking you guys out first. They were all about targeting Kyle and you. They didn't trust you and Kyle. They want you guys gone. Now, this is Monty, I think, feeling like he's fighting for his life here to a degree. But also, I think that he's also genuine, because I did get vibes of this, what he's going to say on the inside. He says, I was telling them what they wanted to hear because I was stuck inside with them. They wanted to target you. They wanted to target Kyle once we got to 7. I tried to defend Kyle, but they weren't having it. I did get that sense in his conversations with Taylor at times. It was a lot of like, I don't think Kyle would do that. If he does turn on Joseph, yeah, he's dead to us, but I don't think he will, kind of stuff. Monty says, I think there's things that we can do to get ahead of this. But I am all about the pound. And Turner's like, oh, I feel the same way. And he says, I promise I have nothing with those 3 moving forward. Monty says, I'm not moving forward with Taylor, Michael, or Brittany. And Turner says, okay, perfect. So we've got 2 options then. We can take that shot now, or we can take out the other side. We can, take that shot at Terrence and Alyssa to show loyalty first, get down to 6. And Monty says, okay. Because again, I think while a lot of this was genuine from Monty, I think he was also feeling like, oh yeah, target Michael and Brittany and not me. And then the second Turner says, so the options are target Michael and Brittany or Terrence and Alyssa. He was like, Turner and Terrence and Alyssa, yeah, for sure, them.
The or, please, yeah.
Yes, I can't trust Terrence. Terrence is coming for me. We need to take Terrence out. If we take out Alyssa or Terrence, I promise you, those 3. And he's immediately going back on what he was just saying, because he was just saying that those 3 want Turner and Kyle gone ASAP, and now he's saying, if you take out Terrence or Alyssa, I promise you, they are not going to come for the other person. They're leftovers strong, 100%. They're getting to 6. I definitely getting to 6 for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and one of the things he says to run it back is that, yeah, and if we go after, because he's like, Terrence is a wild card. I don't know who he's going to put up if he wins. So I feel like we should get him out. And then next week, if one of them wins, they're going to put up Kyle and Alyssa. Like, you're not going to be the one on the block, is the way he's going about reassuring Turner here.
Yeah, so Turner says, that's exactly what I was thinking. And Monty's like, that's great. Awesome. They both agree again. Their loyalty is to the pound. And Turner says, their priority is still really the leftovers. And Monty says, yes. So Monty is basically like, yeah, don't target me, target Michael and Brittany. Oh, wait, you're willing to actually target them? Yeah, definitely target them. And Turner's like, okay, yeah, we'll target them. That's what we'll do. Monty is on board, Turner is on board, and that seems to be where Turner is heading. There are a few more conversations through the night, but again, it's mostly just the same sort of like generic talk. There's not a lot of other like serious game talk here with Turner, mostly just him continuing to promise everybody safety.
Yeah, I will say, based on the way he spoke to people that came into his room initially, so Kyle was the first one, then it was Terrence. If you blinked, you missed this conversation. It was very quick, move on. Then it was Alyssa, where Alyssa essentially declares, I actually really, you are my best friend and I really appreciate you. And what did Turner say? That's great. That's fire. Hug, leave. You're gone now. Then it was one by one members of the leftover. And the more and more he was talking to the leftovers, like, because after Monty, he talks with Michael, he talks with Taylor, and the energy was, he was like, I'm leftover till I die. The leftovers started on my reign. They're not ending on my reign. I'm going strong with it. So to me, I feel like the talk with Monty really made him feel good about this plan of just going about nominating Alyssa and Turner. And here's the thing, Taran, here's what I think. Now that he said all this, and he said that he's lost 2 jury votes by putting those 2 up, if he turns on them, he will be thinking, I'm losing 4 jury votes by doing this. So I can't put them up now. I really don't think he thinks or would think to put them, at least where we are right now on the timeline that we're talking about.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the night. Things are gonna wind down, and everyone goes to bed, and here we are. It's looking like Turner may actually put up Alyssa and Terrence, and leave himself and Kyle wide open to the shot that will be taken next week. But this morning,
well done. It was this or the one-on-ones. I'm happy you were able to put it in there.
Kyle woke up early because Kyle knows this cannot happen. He went up into Turner's HOH room and he says, listen, bro, I've been thinking. I couldn't sleep. I've been thinking all night. We have to talk because this can't happen. And Turner says, listen, Monty, he told me that there is a Final Four for the insiders. And Kyle's like, we knew it. Perfect. We need to take the shot then. And Turner's like, well, but he also said they will go to Final 6. And Kyle says, no way. No way. Michael will take the shot. He talked to me about taking a shot even before the split house happened. He was talking about taking a shot at 9, let alone 7. If Monty is really that on board, we just take our shot and have Monty on board with the shot being taken by us right now. I'm telling you, Michael is on to the pound. He was asking me all kinds of questions about it. Yeah, because you told him about it. But he's asking me all kinds of questions about who started the alliance. He's on to the pound. He will take that shot. There's no way Monty will go with us when he can go with Taylor and Brittany to the end. There's no way. We need to take this shot. Also, Turner, have you not realized that if you do this, Terrence and Alyssa are going to tell everyone what happened outside. We are going to get caught. They are going to know, and then they are definitely going to take the shot at us next week. We can't escape our fate here. We cast our lot in with the outsiders. We need to stick with it. We need to be ahead of that information. And listen, if you go to Monty and you tell him this is what you're thinking and he fights back hard, that's a red flag. That's telling me that he is loyal to that 4. We need to take this shot. And Turner says, yeah, I'm with you. I was thinking the same thing. I think you're completely right. I think this is what we need to do. We can't, it's not the best thing to put Alyssa and Terrence up. I don't think we can do it. So Kyle says, perfect. We just need to talk to Monty and try to get him on board.
And we don't have feeds now. So what a wake-up call that was. I will say, yeah, so Kyle walked into the room. Turner's asleep. And this whole conversation happened with Turner in a horizontal position, eyes barely open.
They didn't even turn the lights on for it.
No, it was all in the dark. So I don't know how much I will put stock in this at the moment, simply because he was, again, when I'm in that state here, when I'm like barely asleep, if Liana asked me anything, I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. So is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? I don't know. Feeds are off. I have no idea. But who would have thought? Who would have thought we'd have a Turner HOH and everything's up, down, left, right, and center? We should have really thought that because of the first reign, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is real. I think that Turner is not going to put up Alyssa and Terrence. I think that Kyle is not going to let him. I think that he is making compelling arguments to Turner. Turner was pretty emphatic in his agreement. Yes, he was tired, but he said, I was thinking the same thing, over the course of the night. The same concerns, at least. Kyle is also heading off the idea of Monty being able to push back by saying that if Monty does push back, it's just a further red flag that he's secretly loyal to the other four that they have now admitted have a final four. I just don't see Kyle letting it happen. He knows that it needs to happen. I think that this is pretty locked in, which means we are probably going to see something like Brittany and Taylor nominations, maybe even just straight Michael and Brittany, but probably not Monty because they feel like maybe they can get Monty on board, and Monty may even just straight up agree because he doesn't want to be in the firing line here. He may, if they push hard enough, he may be like, okay, yeah, fine, let's take the shot at Michael. It's not that bad for me. Or at least he might think that, especially if it's like him as the other option.
If he does go through with this, I will say again, I feel like after all the promises made, he's already like pooched the HOH ring quite a bit here. But yeah. And like so let's play it out. Let's say that he does take the shot on the inside and he whittles it down to his final four. Does he have a shot of winning still? Yes. Because I think that if he sits next to Kyle, he still has a shot. Next to Alyssa, he still has a shot. Next to Terrence, he still has a shot. So I don't think it's going to go bad for him if he goes down to the final four with that group. But that is that group staying intact the whole way through.
Yeah, or the shot gets taken to Kyle, and then he still has Alyssa and Terrence, which is still a pretty good place to be. Especially if there's Monty there, who still also feels the need to take that shot at Michael at some point. I think that getting Monty on board with this, even to a small degree, is huge because Monty has divulged a bunch of information now, including that they made a Final Four on the other side, including all kinds of dirt on all three of Taylor, Michael, and Brittany. So he has already gotten into a decent position there. All he needed to do is not just like dumbly promise everyone safety for no reason when he's going to not go through with it anyway. Things are looking interesting here as we move forward toward the nomination ceremony today. There's a chance that you can see, say Michael or Brittany get back to Turner, say he has this conversation with Monty, and Monty may push back some more. It's possible that Turner has second thoughts again. But remember, this is exactly how it played out when Turner was HOH the first time. He had second thoughts, and it was Kyle that came in and pushed him. No, it needs to be Amira. This needs to be the shot that is taken. And then he went ahead and took that shot. So we will see how he ultimately lands. But I personally, I'm feeling like it's not looking super great for Michael at this time.
Yeah, I mean, again, Michael was nervous last night. If he knows what's happening this morning, he should still be nervous. Yeah, so I think ultimately, if the nominees are Alyssa and Terrence, that is best for Monty and Taylor's game. Like, they stand to benefit the most because then Michael's still the target or still is going to be seen as the bigger threat on that side. And then this side still has, Kyle moving forward. Whereas if this does happen, if the nominees are, let's say, a Taylor and Brittany, or a Michael and Brittany, or a Michael and Taylor, whichever combination without Monty there, I think that obviously Kyle stands to benefit the most from it. So it'll be interesting to see where all of this plays out today. I did not expect today's feeds to be, keep your eye on the feeds kind of day, but it's definitely sized up to be that way for me.
Yeah. So here we are. That's where things stand. We will see how the rest of the day plays out with these nominations. If some miracle is able to be pulled off. And they can get Turner to pull Howie, the classic mistake of nominating your own side when the house is clearly split. Or if Kyle will be able to keep him on track and nominate the other side. Should be an interesting time for the rest of the day, as long as we get some of these conversations actually on the feeds. And then, of course, the veto will matter pretty significantly. And if anything, I think the biggest hit to anybody's game last night was actually Taylor's, with Monty kind of throwing her under the bus with Michael and Brittany, and saving himself. Solid enough play by Monty for self-preservation. Long-term, maybe not as much, because it is making it more difficult to convince Turner to make the mistake. But what that might mean is that if Michael is chosen to play in the veto and he does win the veto, then I guess maybe he saves Brittany and Monty goes up as the replacement, potentially, and then maybe they send Monty home. But Taylor is probably more likely to be sent home this week than I had previously anticipated, because Monty has done a good job of convincing Kyle, or at least Turner, of not targeting him, because he might be willing to side with them.
Right. Yeah. So if Michael wins the veto.
Yeah, basically it was supposed to be Monty or Michael. And if Monty is off the table, I think the equation is going to be Taylor or Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is true.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we got. Make sure you come and find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, hanging out, having a good time over there, watching episodes. You can also find the latest Among Us video up on my YouTube channel. Check out my Twitter @ArmstrongTaran. I'm usually tweeting out all the things that I'm doing if you want to keep track of it all. And I'll also be live with Rob in just a couple of hours for the patron Q&A. If you want to call in and ask some questions, there's a lot of interesting things to talk about, questions to be answered. So come and hang out with us there. I'll, of course, be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, to update you on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 24 live feeds. Pooya, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter @PooyaIsm. They can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya. I will be live tonight at 10 p.m. It's been a lot of fun during the Big Brother season. We break down some Big Brother stuff. We talk about a bunch of other stuff. It's a good time. So come through if you're free tonight, 10 p.m. We'll see you there. And then also, as far as podcasts go, I was a guest over on Mess Magnets this week, talking YouTube boxing with Sasha. There is a boxing event today, actually. So that should be fun. And then also 90 Day Fiance. We wrapped up the final episode of season 9 of 90 Day Fiance this upcoming week. I've got a brand new season of 90 Day starting, and Rob will be on with me to talk about the premiere. And besides that, definitely come through and check us out 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays during the Big Brother season. We will be playing some more Goose Goose Duck this weekend, and it's been a lot of fun. So come find us. We have a good time.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you